If you have just picked your career, you might have chosen a wrong career. Or if you're still looking to pick a new career, I'll tell you how to think about it. Majority of people, when they start looking for a new career, they see what jobs are in demand right now, that which job has more demand and less supply, right? But we don't know how is it going to go in the future, and nobody can predict the future as far as the job market concerned, right? But there is another way to think about it. I always ask, if you're picking a career, think about it. Was this career or was this job available 5 years ago? And if it wasn't, and if it is available now, and it had lasted a couple of years, you can fairly say that, hey, if the career itself wasn't available 5 years ago, and right now everybody is using that particular skill set or career, the only way it can go is up. I mean, there are exceptions where some things were a hype for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and then it dialed down. But if something lasted 3, 4 years and they started only 5 years ago or around that time period, that's a good career to pick. So today we are going to go through a couple of those options. So the first one is social media manager. I know you might think that it's an easy job, or many people don't need social media manager, but the amount of influencers increasing, the social media manager role is going to be in more demand. So what social media manager is? So this is a relatively new role that has emerged with the growth of social media platforms. Social media managers are responsible for creating and managing companies' social media presence, like including developing content. They can generate the ideas, or record or see how the editing will happen, how to engage the followers, right? Doing certain posts or doing some polls or those kind of things. And the third thing is the tracking the analytics, right? They track the social media influencers profile as a product. Let's say if you are creating a dating application, you would track the dating application, how people are using it, how many people are coming. The same way, social media managers tracks what's trending, how people are consuming the content. So that's one, right? And the second one is, we kind of mentioned it in the first job, is the influencer itself, right? Which is kind of tricky because a lot of people wants to be an influencer right now. So unless you really enjoy creating content, and it doesn't have to be videos, if you enjoy creating articles or writing articles, if you enjoy creating podcasts, pick that which you will really enjoy and stick with it, because it can take a long amount of time. And if you don't enjoy doing that, you might give up quicker than you might have thought. So I don't need to go in detail and explain what an influencer is, but it's basically somebody who creates content and puts it online and then creates money using ads for whatever platform they do. They get sponsors. They can sell their own products. So that's the job or a business of an influencer. Third one is, you might have heard it a lot, data scientist. Um, it's fairly new, but it's a little bit saturated as well. I see a lot of people who say that they are data scientist or data analyst or data engineer, but they're not really going in detail. So don't go by thinking that, hey, I'm going to be data analyst or data scientist, and I'm just going to monitor the analytics like a social media manager would do, or a product manager would do. So data scientist requires much more than that, right? They need to like collect the data, they have to analyze the data, they have to interpret the data. They need to use many tools to transform the messy or raw data into a beautiful data which they can articulate in a story. So if you enjoy that process, pick a data scientist career. The next one I'm going to talk about is cybersecurity analyst. So we all know everybody has a website now. Everybody wants to create a mobile application. So everyone has digital presence, right? Even though you don't create a website and mobile applications, you have an email ID, right? You have a social media profile. You have something which is online, not hidden somewhere in your apartment or in your office. So what do cybersecurity analysts do? Cybersecurity analysts are responsible for protecting computer systems and networks for cyber attacks. They use their skills to identify and mitigate threats. So not only when the attack happens, but also they can mitigate the attack before it happens. So cybersecurity analyst is one of a good career you can pick. And this one, it might not pay as much as other I mentioned, but if you want something little less hectic, or you don't want to learn too many new skills, virtual assistant, it's gonna be big. You can work remotely. Everybody will require virtual assistant, even if it's a small business or a big business, right? So what do they do? So a virtual assistant is someone who provides administrative, technical, and creative assistance to client from remote location. And many of virtual assistants are from Philippines, countries where they can speak good English and they understand the culture as well. But I think it will change into more American job as well, because they have to have more context about the culture as well, right? So try to see if you can find a career in a virtual assistant or somewhere nearby. That it will give you a lot of flexibility from where you can work for sure. I don't want to go in a lot more positions, but I'll give you a couple of technology or a couple of role slash area where you can explore, right? So definitely the blockchain developer. I'm a little fuzzy about how it will turn out in a couple of years, because in my mind, blockchain is basically a database, right? So is it better to be a DBA and use which is being used everywhere, or niche it in a blockchain where right now it might be amazing, but with time it might be more commoditized, right? As a data person, right? So think about it. If it's your interest, go for it, but don't think that you are going to make millions for long period of time. If you can find a blockchain career opportunity, you can make something in the beginning, learn the business around the product, whatever you're working on, and grow from there. I think that'll be a good strategy than just being expert in blockchain technology, how you can code in that, and then not grow by learning surrounding things, because it can become commoditized with time easily. Of course, the next one is AI engineer, artificial intelligence engineer. They're responsible for like developing, deploying AI systems. And AI is rapidly growing, and there are a lot of new tools like ChatGPT and Google's Bard and their APIs and stuff. So you don't need to be an AI engineer, but if you even understand how these AI tools work, you'll be able to find a lot of opportunities in that niche. There are, of course, Internet of Things, where different systems are connected. For example, using your phone, you can open and close your curtain, you can turn on off your microwave, those kind of things. Then we talked about the data scientist, right? But if you don't want to be the data scientist, because it's a little bit difficult than you think, there is another role which is coming up more, is data visualization specialist. What do they do is they are responsible for creating and presenting data in a way that is easy to understand. As I was saying earlier, like having data is one thing, but being able to tell a story using charts and graphs and a beautiful design using that data, that's a very valuable skill. So you can explore in that as well. And of course, UX designer. And don't confuse UX designer with somebody who used to create like mock-ups and all. Of course, it's part of their role, but UX is not about how it looks. It's about how people use it, right? So the user friendly experience for websites, app, and other digital products, even for house renovation and a lot of physical places where you will need UX designer, which can design the world around you, basically. So those are some of the fields which did not exist 5-7 years ago, and right now they are in a demand, and that could grow furthermore with time. So good luck, guys, and let me know if I can help you somehow.